What is going on, everyone? My name is Boit, and I am back with some more Age Mythology, the Titans action, spawning on the right side of the map in the blue color, playing as Loki. His name is Shelty. On the left side of the map in the red color, playing as Zeus. His name is Player. The map is Mediterranean. It's currently 1-1 for these two very, very skilled players with some very, very nice Zeus and Loki play in the first two games. This matchup, this map, is very, very difficult for the Loki player. Simply because there isn't many advantages to be gained by playing Loki in this on this map when the middle is so important for food and economy and generally just like controlling the map and like things like controlling these areas of the map. I guess the town center is outside of the range of the water, so it doesn't really matter in that regard for maintaining control of town centers. But the big issue is that Loki doesn't have any advantages in controlling the water, so he has to simply outplay his opponent very, very hard. And player is extremely good at playing Zeus, so he'll know what to do in here. Zeus has got such a strong classical age on the water because his trireme have an extra 2 range, and they also have a little advantage on the speed. So whenever Loki wants to fight Zeus, he needs his boats have a. So let me continue with that thought. So Loki's boats' advantage over Greek's boats is one, they can garrison units in it, which isn't that big of an advantage. Sometimes it comes into play, but very rarely does it ever really help. And 2, they have an extra attack. So they have less range, they have less speed, they have more attack. And that's kind of where the big issue with Loki comes in to the matchup, especially against Greek, who has the extra range. So if you're fighting in the middle of the water, one person here, then the Zeus player, the Greek player, can pull their boats back and immediately start dragging the enemy ships. Whereas, and not to mention they also have the extra speed on top of that. So, whereas if the Loki player brings their ships back, the Zeus player oftentimes gets an extra shot off before he has to react. So it's almost like you have to just be super fast, ready to refocus as Loki. So one of the big things that changes this matchup and the way you should think about playing on this map with Norse against Greek is only fight your opponent on your terms. So you don't want to be doing a micro fight against Greek player, because the Greek player has an advantage in the micro fight. You want to be doing a fight where it's very difficult for your opponent to get focus their ships onto yours, because you don't really want to pull them back, and you want to be trying to stay in the fight for as long as possible without retreating. That's the idea. So you have to know that you're not trying to win the fight early game for Loki. You want to be massing your ships, and then you want to be trying to engage the Zeus player. Now, the next issue with this matchup is going to be the restoration, or basically the Athena component of Zeus, in that if the Loki player damages too many ships from the micro of the Zeus player, he can just restore all of that HP, and restoration just turns into a massive economic advantage for Zeus in essence, because he can micro his ships really well and deal damage, and then once most of them are low, he can cast restoration and get all of that resource back in HP on those ships, whereas the Loki player can't do that. They can sort of do it with healing spring, so you want to chuck your healing spring down on the edge and try and stay around it as much as possible, and not leave it, and that way you can kind of equalize. And we'll see if Shelty can do that. We are seeing Forsteady is coming through for Shelty, so he's going through the right god, and player is going through Athena, so he's going for this very standard Athena play. You got the villagers over here on the wood lines, villagers on the gold lines. Got 5 villagers on gold for player, 6 and 5, 9, can't count, 11 villagers on wood for player. I can see down here, but whatever. 2 docks as well, houses coming up. And also we're probably going to see a Jason and an Odysseus coming out from player straight away to come over here and harass. He's also got the Minotaur to harass, which is a big issue with going through, basically playing Loki on this map. You have to deal with control. Doesn't really do that much. Minotaur can kill it by itself. You do have access to Herser though, and I kind of feel like it's a better idea for Loki to build their temple a little bit close to their opponent, but I guess you need to defend, and this gold mine's really, really bad. So he's going to have to get out some Herser to deal with that, with the Jason and Odysseus that's coming out, or just the Jason maybe. Anyways, we've got the boat starting to pump out. Let's check out what Shelty's doing. Yep, Shelty's grabbing out his longboats as well, and he's got them queued close to his base, whereas so as player, I thought player would be trying to attack. But we just want to chill now if we're Shelty in this position, and try and hold on to the water for as long as possible. We'll see if he does do that or not. There are some more Herso getting built, so he's just going to hang around this gold mine. These trees are also incredibly exposed. Probably would have been better to go onto this back tree here. We're going to see, potentially going to see the Jason and the Minotaur just come in and do some real significant damage to this wood line, which is going to really hurt. And then in combination with that attack, move his triremes forward. As you can see, the Jason's moving. You know, he's going to be grabbing System of Bust actually, so that's going to be okay for Shelty here. And we do see the attacks coming in, and you can see from here, 14 range. And then 12 range and 7 attack versus 6 attack. Same HP, a little bit less speed, I think. Just making sure I wasn't full of it. Yeah, 5.5 versus 6 speed. So we'll see if this actually does matter. There is a little bit of an advantage here for Shelty at this point. So he needs to come in and attack. I can see he's trying to micro by pulling his ships back. As Norse, I don't think this is the way to play the matchup. I think you're trying to focus fire as best as you can and not trying to bring his ships into you all that much. You kind of just want to get nice and close and try and force him to make to do the micro, and you want to refocus fire as best you can. You can see how he's pulling the ships back and his ships go in, and then player has the time to refocus without moving there. So nice little win there for player. Good micro, even. It's good to compliment that. We do see that the healing spring comes down. You can see how slowly this recovers these ships. But as long as he's not getting attacked, this is exactly the advantage he's after right here. And you want to try and stay on this as best as you can here and fight underneath these dock fire here. You do see that the ships are getting focus fired with the low HP, which is a really nice play there. And here we go, good micro from Shelty, trying to stay in here. Need to focus fire the low HP ships, otherwise restoration will come down, and it's going to be really, really bad for Shelty here if he doesn't get that if he doesn't pick off the low HP ships. So you want to be focus firing onto those, grab half your boats, kill down this one, half your boats, kill off this one. I'm not sure what's going on here with this control. Not fighting back at all. He's going to be losing some ships for free. A little bit of nice micro there from Shelty. Forces player to retreat there, pulling him back. So you have to pick and choose your battles on when you want to retreat boats and when you don't. If we do check this out, we've got 13 longboats here. Player has got he's got 15, and we are seeing a little bit of a raid coming in here. Player's got the house is already up to make this difficult for him, and unfortunately he's not paying attention to this. And we've also got Jason coming in. I think this army is significantly stronger than these two units here, so there's not a lot that can happen here. Player is still putting on the pressure in this portion of the map. Going to be trying to take down this storehouse, but there is another location over here he can chop the wood from. Potentially going to keep fighting over here. We don't have Odysseus out just yet for player. Minotaur going to be getting low on HP over there, and now the restoration does come down. However, it looks like player not exactly utilizing it correctly. You can see a couple of these boats are still not full HP. You want to hit Q on those boats in order to get the the really, really fast restoration happening. It's kind of like when you're getting healed by a priest. You don't want that unit to be moving around. You want it to stay still so it gets the full restoration value there. But he did get most of his boats back to HP, so he's going to be totally fine here. And now we're seeing it's 17 boats to Shelty's 12, and he's like, I can notice he's not really focusing over here very well. He needs to get these boats all attacking as best as he possibly can, but player is going to be taking this fight very, 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 very nicely here, and it does look like the villagers are helping out the Jason and Odysseus with these engagements over here. If Shelty can get a myth unit spawn though, he could really help this out in this location, potentially get an Einherjar or a Valkyrie spawn. Very possible, could happen, but it is going to be hurting for Shelty at this point, having no fish here, and player should be able to start building out those fishing ships fairly soon. We are seeing longhouses coming down, so Shelty is what happened over here? He was going for the ball. So Shelty is transitioning away from water. And he is going to lose this troll as well, which is super unfortunate. But he's going to be attacking this location here. There is this gold mine over here, and I do think that Shelty needs to move forward and make a wall. If you wall this off, does he know about this? Has he scouted well enough? He has scouted this gold mine. He doesn't know that this tree completely blocks off here, but he should send a unit over here and wall this off so that player can't get access to that gold mine and force him to bash through it and really make this gold mine difficult to get to. Even a couple of walls would be fine just to really hurt him. And we are seeing that the gold mine's got 700 gold left. So this is actually going to be fairly difficult for player to hold on to. So he doesn't really have time to pump out the fishing ships just yet. You can see he's sitting at 200 wood. Now he's pumping out those hoplite and those toxite. Definitely needs to get out some armies. Only got 2 military buildings here. And when the Norse player has also only got 2 military buildings, that's going to be very, very good for the Norse player because he will be able to start. Oh, he's got 3 military buildings, excuse me. We are seeing the Loki player Shelty moving forward those Herser at this point. Are we going to see him wall this up, or is he just going to... I really do hope he does just chuck a couple of walls over here. There's nothing really scouting this out either, so he can just really make this difficult. Maybe he's just going to scout it out as well. We'll see what happens. The watchtowers are up, so now Shelty can't really get into the base. He can't really go around the base either because there's this nice wall here. But no, Herso look like they're moving in, trying to do a raid instead of controlling this map. I really feel like this could be a very strong gold staff for Shelty at this point. There's 97 to 87 population, but a lot of that population from player is in these triremes, which are not going to help in this location over here. There's a troll here as well. I feel like Shelty could be spending some of that favor on more trolls. I know that they get picked off very, very easily by the Odysseus, but if you keep them in the back of the line, the back of the base there, you can hold on very, very nicely. We are seeing that this fight is kind of going in favor of player here. He's got the Toxite out, and it's only throwing Axeman here. Unfortunately, Shelty has not been able to get out enough Herser, and it doesn't look like he doesn't have Hall of Thanes either. Looks like these units are going to be chasing after the throwing Axeman and the Herser as well, so he's going to see that this is kind of being a retreating action from Shelty. He's also building longhouse up on this side of the map, which I do like. The gold mine has expired. How much gold does player have left? He's got 254 gold. So this is all going to come down to whether or not Shelty can win this fight or not. And it does look like with the Odysseus tanking so much damage from those throwing axes, he's going to be able to keep pushing through here. So unfortunately for Shelty, not able to get that gold starve. And now the economy from the water is going to start kicking in for player. He's got 16 villages on food already. He's got Persine. So all of that food is coming in so fast. These Herser get picked off so quickly from those Toxite and the Odysseus. Now we're seeing another raid coming in here. Nice troll spawn. That's going to be able to pick off a couple of villages really, really nicely because both of the heroes are over here. So Shelty going to have a little bit of a win there on the villagers, and we're seeing the villagers moving up here, thinking about trying to get to this gold mine here, but there is a Herser. I really wish that Shelty would just wall this off here. He is pulling the army over here, and now it looks like player can simply just move onto this gold mine. His army's over here. He can secure it with some military buildings. The Herser in the base of Shelty are falling as well, and it is going to be Shelty tapping out. GG, well played there by player. I loved this attempt from Shelty. This matchup is very difficult, but I think he could have played the water portion of it better. He had a lot of the time he was like moving his ships around while player was attacking them, which does hurt him quite a bit. And he could have really forced player to fight a little bit longer, even like another minute of water fighting there, of production on the boats, would have really helped Shelty get the resources he needs in order to get the units out to gold staff here. Just 1 minute more would have been crucial. And then on top of that, a couple of walls over here. I mean, he didn't actually end up coming up to this gold mine because the Herso were here, but just a couple of walls would have been enough to completely nullify this side of the map. And on this Mediterranean, this is like a perfect Mediterranean for Loki against Zeus. Unfortunately, Shelty didn't notice that this was an option here and couldn't just go all in on this side. So the idea would be send one Ulfsark up here, wall this off like 3 times to be as much of a nuisance. Build 1 longhouse up here, and then when the villagers come up and start sieging away, that's when you start building units up here. And he has to push through 3 walls, and he's not going to be able to get onto this gold mine before you get units out. This side will be completely blocked off. You can even just build a watchtower over here as well. This side will be completely blocked off because all your units will be over here. And you should be able to fight off this army with like an extra minute of production in your military units. But unfortunately, Shelty not able to make that happen, and player takes this game. It's currently 2-1 for player. So if you enjoyed this game, please rate, comment, subscribe, hit that notification bell if you like my videos and want to see them as soon as they come out. My name is Boit, and I will see you guys next time.